Hi everyone, Willie Miranda with Miranda Real Estate Group, and I wanted to share this very important video with you. We actually had a real estate safety training course a few months back in memory of Beverly Carter. Beverly was the real estate agent that lived in Arkansas and was unfortunately killed while showing a property. And I wanted to get this out there because it was just over a year ago, and I find that a lot of agents forget how important it is to be safe out there. So we put together this video, and you can feel free to share it with anyone in your office, share it with other agents that you care about, and get the word out there about real estate safety. So with that, here's the video. Any feedback would be appreciated at wmiranda@mrgteam.com. And here's the video, and be safe out there. Thank you.
My name is John Affinito. I'm a 30-year veteran of the Schenectady County Sheriff's Department. One of the things that we talk about in police training, you can't teach common sense. What I'm going to try and do today with this presentation is bring some of that common sense back up to the forefront and give you folks something to think about, whether you're female, whether you're male, because this applies to all of us. Prevention starts with you, developing a positive and realistic attitude. Do not become complacent. The minute you become complacent, bad things happen. As a firearms instructor, I live by 4 firearm safety rules. It's only 4, so it's not rocket science. And I tell everybody who's come through my classes, whether it's in service, police academy, or in my civilian training, you live by those 4 rules, you'll never have a problem. You'll never have a gun go bang when you didn't expect it to go bang. Once you become complacent, that's when accidents happen. Once you become complacent outside of your home, bad things are going to happen. Stay alert to your surroundings and your situational awareness. You should know everybody who's around you, no matter where you are, whether you're out in public on your own. This doesn't just apply for when you're working. This applies to when you're out on the street, shopping, with your family, anyplace else. Because trust me when I tell you, there are a lot of predators out there. A lot of predators. A lot of you folks probably have your pictures on your for sale signs. Don't think for a minute that these people do not recognize you when you're out in public, not working, or when you're with your family, grocery shopping, going through Crossgates Mall. Any of these situations, they recognize. I can't tell you how many times I've had people come up to me and say stuff to me, and I have no idea who they are. And then about 20 minutes later, oh, I know who that guy was. Oh, I know who he was. And then it starts to click. But situational awareness, always know who's around you, where you are, where the exit doors are. The other thing you need to understand too is, again, besides yourself being responsible for your own safety and your own protection, nobody else is responsible, nobody else. Plan on this. Nobody else is going to come to your rescue. Don't ever count on somebody else, the Good Samaritan, getting involved in your situation, because most people go to the blind eye and don't want to get involved. Plan your meeting. Make sure you know how to get out of the home. If you need to, always have a plan. This is real important. This is huge. As a former deputy sheriff, police officer, every place I went, everything that I did, we always had a plan. We're going in to do a drug raid. I was the first one in the door and the last one out the door. So I made sure we had a plan. Awareness. If you sense trouble, leave immediately. End the showing. End the meeting. End the conversation. So what if you hurt my feelings? That shouldn't be a concern. Safety is the concern, not worrying about hurting somebody's feelings or not making that sale. And I understand it's all about sale. I know it's about making money because that's what we all do. We all work hard. But at the same time, and I repeat this and I'll say it over and over and over again, your safety is the most important thing that you're going to have to worry about. Nothing else. So if you hurt somebody's feelings, oh well, feelings can heal. How to prevent a crime? Simply try and avoid it when possible. Whether you're working, whether you're on the street, whether you're shopping or anything else, simply try to avoid it. Do not give the criminal the opportunity to perpetrate a crime against you. Avoid being an easy target or a lucrative target. Some of these people that you deal with out there, and I'm sure everybody in here at one point or time has some type of situation that they can relate to that you felt uncomfortable with a client, male or female, that you felt uncomfortable. What they're doing is, trust me, they do not follow the same boundaries as I do. They have no boundaries. They're predators. And what they're doing is they're looking at you, and they're looking at you, and they're looking at you, and they're saying, okay, who's the easy target here? Who's the lucrative target? Who's driving the Cadillac Escalade? Who's got all the rings on? Who's the flashy one? And this is what they're looking at. So you try to downsize a little bit while you're working. Don't give them the opportunity to see that you're making good money or that you're very successful at what you're doing. There's no need to flash that stuff to these people. You don't know who you're dealing with. Prevention. Foreclosed or vacant homes. Vacant homes have always attracted vagrant squatters or even former homeowners that refuse to leave the property. Willie, Jeff told a story about coming in the front door and somebody going out the back door. I've had a couple incidents where I've gone into houses that were supposed to have been foreclosed on, gone in with the attorney or one of his secretarial staff to check the property to make sure it was empty and that they could have somebody come in and change the padlocks on it. And as I entered, I'm hollering, sheriff's department, sheriff's department. Nobody downstairs. I go upstairs, and this woman opens the door and turns her dog loose on me. And as the dog gets to about 3 feet away, I have my gun out and I'm ready to pull the trigger. The last thing in the world I ever wanted to do, I'm an animal lover. I did not want to shoot that dog. I did not want to. He stopped about 3 feet away from me and just looked at me. But he came out growling and barking and snapping. And then she came out and she says, I'm not leaving. Well, you're leaving one way or another now because now the law is here, now you're under arrest, now you're going to go. But we've been in those situations, not only law enforcement, but in your situation too. Squatters. When you surprise a squatter, you don't know what that individual is going to do or what that individual is capable of. You know he's homeless or else he wouldn't be in there squatting. So these are things that you have to deal with. One of the things that that I would suggest, if you don't already do this, inspect the exterior of the house you're going to show prior to the showing, a day or so before. Just so you get an idea of the home, of the location. How many of you have just gone to a place for the very first time to do the showing without doing any prior inspection? Okay? Okay. So when you get there, have you ever been surprised at what you're looking at? I'm sure you have been. Maybe not all the time, but on occasions. There's always that occasion, and especially in some certain neighborhoods, where this is prevalent. Once a house is vacant, somebody will knock the door in, somebody will take the plywood off the front window or the back window normally, and maintain residence there until they have to leave. Never confront anyone outside or inside the home for your safety and the client's safety. I'm not a big proponent of the confrontation unless it's to my advantage or unless I'm getting paid. I'm not getting paid to do that anymore, so I try to avoid it the best I can. Try and remember this. Any physical confrontation you may have with another individual, and this may not apply to you, but it's food for thought. Any physical confrontation you have with another individual, you have a 50% chance of winning and a 50% chance of losing that altercation. Your life is worth more than 50%. 50% are not good odds in a life or death situation. So we try to avoid it at all times. Never confront anyone. 1, you don't know if they're armed. 2, you don't know if there's more than one. 3, you don't know what their capabilities are. And 4, you don't know if they're high on drugs or drunk or anything else. You don't know anything about this individual. Avoid it. Back away. Leave that area just as soon as you possibly can. Notify your clients. We're leaving. Get in your car and go back to the office. Or meet me at the office. How close does somebody have to get to you before you feel uncomfortable? Everybody's different. I just heard somebody said 3 feet. Trust me when I tell you this, that if I'm acting aggressively or you're uncomfortable with my presence because of some of the things that I've said, my body language, or any thing that I might have projected towards you, sexual or not. How close does somebody have to get? If I can get within 3 feet of you,
You're done.
you're mine.
I have a question.
You're mine. Yes, ma'am.
You keep saying, walk away, walk away. What is the percentage of that you can walk away? I mean, you know.
The idea is if you need to step back and move away. At this point here, I am a threat to you, okay? At this distance, I'm a danger to her.
Yes,
But from back here,
that's what my thought is.
you could simply say, and I use this all the time, use your grown-up, big girl, big boy voice. Step back, move away, and then just retreat the best that you can. The idea is when you use loud verbal commands, there's no mistaking what you're saying. Keep it simple. Ask your spouse or coworker to accompany you into some less desirable location. I'm sure for all of you married ladies here in the house today that if you asked your spouse to accompany you, even if he just sat out in the vehicle after meeting the individual or checking the house, that he would not say no. If he did, trying to find a new guy. Trying to find a new guy. Some guy that doesn't know how to say no. Now, co-workers. I don't know how the co-worker would work in your case, but having someone, and I say co-worker because we're all in this together. So if I need a co-worker to accompany me to a showing or to a less desirable location, I would ask, or ask a spouse, ask a friend, ask somebody, because when that individual sees that there's more than one, and that now you are not an easy target because now you have a male escort, I don't mean it that way, I mean a male that's with you, the chances of them doing anything drop considerably. Office staff, family, or friends should know where you're going, location and address, and how long you plan on being there. Does everybody do that? So somebody in the office, a coworker or spouse knows how long you're going to be there. Now, here's one for you. If something should happen or somebody attempts to try something and you got on that phone and you dialed 911, it's going to take, again, a little bit of time for that patrol car to roll up. And in 11 minutes, a lot of bad things can happen. How about having some type of, this may sound funny to you, a secret phrase that if you were to call the office with that secret phrase, somebody in the office who answers that phone or your spouse or another coworker knows you're in danger to get help there immediately if you can't call 911? Just an idea. It's just an idea to put out there. Do your inspection prior to showing. Show your listing during the daylight hours if possible. 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night is just, I don't think would be a good time to be showing a house unless it couldn't be shown at any other time. But I would try and show the house during the daylight hours, during the day, and try and do it at my convenience, not theirs. Meeting your client for the first time. Try and meet in the office. If not, someplace you're familiar with and comfortable. When you meet a client for the very first time, where do you meet them? Where do you meet your client for the very first time?
Many different places.
Many different places. All the places you're comfortable with or places that he's comfortable with or she's comfortable with?
Basically, I choose the place.
You choose the place?
Donuts or something like that.
Okay, good, good. Out in public someplace where somebody else can see you with this individual. Now that Big Brother is watching, there's cameras every place you go. Somebody's watching everything that you do. Keep it in public. Always get a copy of their driver's license. Why do you need my driver's license? Company policy. Get a copy of it so it's on file. If they say, no, I'm not going to give you a copy of my driver's license, then there might be an issue here. there might be some concern as to why they don't want to give you a driver's license. Criminals don't want to have their picture taken or give any other type of identification. Trust me, they don't want people to see them. They want to keep a low profile as possible. Okay? Have your clients fill out a customer identification form. Again, company policy. Do you have an identification form, company identification form? No? Okay. That form simply can be made up in the office with just the information about the client, their address, driver's license, copy of their driver's license, and any other information that you would want on that form. And then verify. This is huge. Dave mentioned, was it Google Earth or Earth Google? You can check their address on their driver's license to see where they live. So you'll have an idea of who you might be dealing with. I'm not trying to make anybody paranoid or try to say that everybody that you're going to deal with is a bad person. There's probably some great people that you've met out there. There's probably some people out there that you've been doing business with over and over and over again. But remember, the world has changed. They don't play by our rules. And these people are unforgiving. There's a lot of predators out there. A lot of predators. Introduce them to an office worker, manager, or co-worker in the office. So now somebody else knows who they are, can do an identification. When you're out and about, even when you're just out in general public, and people are looking at you, most people do not like to look people in the eye. I'll look in your eye all day long. But most people just do this and then look away. When criminals see that, they know that you're a weak target at that point. Because now I still can't identify him, but now when I just look at him and look away, okay, I got an idea of what he looks like. I know what he looks like. Criminals don't like to be identified. So even out in your daily life is the idea that you carry yourself with pride. You carry yourself knowing that nobody's going to do anything to you because your situational awareness, you're paying attention to where you are, your surroundings. I'm looking at people. I can identify somebody. I can give a description. Try and avoid confined areas such as basements, attics, and other confined spaces. This is huge. Avoid those areas because once you get into that area, you may not have a way out. Now you're trapped. Now you're going to fight your way out. If you have to follow a client into any room, try and stay near the door. Leave the doors open so you can easily leave the area if need be. When you go into a room, how many of you walk into the room with the client behind you? Never. Ever. Very good. Very good. That surprised me. I thought for sure somebody would have the nerve to say I do.
That's common sense.
Okay. We have some people that are fibbing in here today maybe. All right. Always let the client go in first. No need to walk in front of a client, especially one that you're not familiar with. And definitely especially one that you have a strange feeling about. Let them walk in first. Stand near the doorway so you can easily step out or vacate that area. Confined spaces, there's the basement downstairs. Feel free to go downstairs and look at the basement. You can stay on top of the stairs. You can wait for them in the living room or the dining room. You don't have to go down into those close, confined areas. Showings. Make sure someone else knows where you are and how long you plan on being there. Again, some of the stuff that I talk about is repetitive. I'm trying to bring it up to the front of your brain, so it's stuff that you try to remember. After the showing, contact that person and let them know you're done. So they're not going to worry. They're not going to start calling you and ringing your phone off the hook to see if you're okay. If you feel uncomfortable, tell the person that you have to contact the office and step outside. There's another one. The minute you feel uncomfortable, excuse me, 1 second, I have to make a call to the office. Step out, make that phone call. Chances are they're not going to say, no, you can't leave. Chances are they're going to say, okay, well, she's got to make a legitimate phone call, and then she'll come back in. And that's what I'm going to do, whatever it is that I'm going to do. An open house. This is an invitation to the general public. It's also an open invitation to thieves and dangerous criminals to enter the home. Now, let me ask you, on an open house, does anybody have to register prior to coming to the open house, or can people just walk in off of the street? Walking in off of the street, okay? I bought my first home. I was driving down the street. I saw an open house. Let me pull over. I pulled over and walked in and bought the house. They didn't know who I was. I didn't know who they were either. but I just walked in off of the street and bought my house. When announcing an open house, advertise that identification will be required and that the home is under video surveillance. Even if it's not under video surveillance, they don't know.
Doesn't matter, there's a last.
They have no idea. But if they're coming into a house and their idea is to perpetrate a crime, geez, right on that sign it says, or on the paperwork that's on the dining room or kitchen table, home is under video surveillance. They don't know where that camera is, and you watch. If you do that, trust me when I tell you this, try it sometime. Just put it on your open house paperwork that the house is under video surveillance, and I want you to watch that person when they pick it up and they read it. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to do this. Believe me, it's the first thing they're going to do, because criminals don't want their picture taken. They don't. They don't want that identification out there, and they'll take as many precautions as they can not to get it out there. But you've announced that when you come in, you have to have your driver's license information on this form. Just explain to them this form is not going to be used anything other than for the open house sign-in. You're not going to be contacted. You're not going to, be harassed or any of this other stuff. This is just simply a safety issue, company policy. Introduce yourself to the neighbors. How many of you have gone to a neighbor on either side of the house that you're selling? Introduce yourself. Hi, I'm so-and-so from Miranda Realty. I'm going to be showing a house next door. I just wanted to introduce myself so you know that when you see the doors open, I'm going to be here. You're going to see my white Jag out front.
They have to be the predator.
I'm not. See my 1967 Chevy pickup out front. But you're going to see my vehicle out front. I'm going to be showing a house. I just thought I'd make an introduction so you know who I am. This way here, that the neighbor knows that you're there, knows who you are. How many of you, when you have an open house, if it's still occupied, do you tell your client that you're showing the house for to lock up all the prescription drugs and all that good stuff? Have the homeowner secure all of their valuables, including any prescription drugs and mail. Because if somebody sees this pile of mail laying around, that means, geez, they're on vacation. Might be they're on vacation. I see 2 or 3 days worth of mail on vacation. Never leave your purse. This is for you folks. Never leave your purse, laptop, or valuables unattended. Always keep your purse on your person. All right? Never carry it across your chest. If somebody's going to take that purse, that means if it's across your chest, in order for them to get that purse, they have to drag you to the ground and you're going to get hurt. Keep it on one side of the shoulder or the other. When you're out shopping, here's what I'll tell, was what I tell in the other safety classes. If it's on my shoulder, it's towards the store. When I'm walking down the hallway, it's towards the store. I try and leave as little space as possible for somebody to come up on my right-hand side if I was carrying my purse on the right-hand side, because here's the glass window of the shop, and it's going to take a real skinny person to get by. If I'm carrying down the left side, then I have the whole open aisle for somebody to come by and grab it. Keep your valuables close at hand or on your person. Don't leave them unattended. Lock them in your car or your trunk. Always keep your cell phone in your hand or on your person where you can get to it in case you need it immediately. Avoid provocative photos in your advertisement. Photos are nice. Just the face. Just the face. If you have to have your photo out there, just the face. Avoid those provocative photos. Criminals look for certain type of women, i.e. blondes, brunettes, young, or even older agents. They know that with one phone call you'll meet them someplace. Most times if somebody calls and say, hey, I'm at 123 Main Street, house for sale, is there any way you can meet me here? I'd like to get some information or at least look at the house. Some people will say I'll be right there. That should never happen. Sure, we can meet in my office tomorrow, 4 o'clock. I'll give you all the information on that property that you need. I will make arrangements for a showing, but we're not doing it today. We're not going to just drop everything we're doing to show up to somebody we don't know. Get them in the office, get some identification. Let somebody else in the office meet this individual. Just basic little things, folks. Watch what clothes you wear. Avoid the short skirts, high heels, and expensive jewelry. Wear shoes you can run in. Wear shoes that you can fight in. Remember, predators don't have the same boundaries that you and I have. Predators don't care. Predators are criminals. Criminals commit crime. They're not afraid of jail. Protect your personal information. Never use your home phone. Always use your cell phone, an office address, and all your marketing advertisement. Here's another one. Never use your home address and home phone number. Don't reveal personal information about yourself or your family to this individual. No need to divulge that personal information to anybody. They don't need to know. Unless they're personal friends of yours, then they probably already know that already. No information about your personal life. They just don't need to, they don't need to know it. They don't need to know it. Okay? How many of you, by show of hands, pick up hitchhikers? Come on. Really? You mean to tell me here that nobody picks up a hitchhiker here?
No.
Why not?
Never.
Why not?
Too dangerous.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. The young lady in the front said it's too dangerous. How many of you take a client, put them in your car, and drive them around to different houses?
Never.
Nobody? Okay. The minute you put a stranger in your vehicle, the chances of you becoming a crime statistic rise 100%. Why would you let a complete stranger in your car? Let them drive their own car. I'll meet you at this address. Or you can follow me to this address. But not let them in your car. Drive separately. Let the client follow you from house to house. Watch where you park your car. This is huge. Leave enough room in between the vehicles so you can either back up or get out of that confined area just as soon as you possibly can. Watch where you park your car. Make sure you can't be blocked in. Avoid back alleys and or dark places when you park your vehicle. Security is all about layers of protection. One of the layers of protection that we have is our common sense. The common sense, the 8 inches between your ears. Everything that you know. The warning bells that go off. I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. Back out of there. Get the hell away from that spot as soon as you possibly can, or as fast as you can. Layers of protection. Now, I teach all these specialized courses. And one of the courses that I taught at the police academy, correction academies, instructor development schools, is pepper spray. Pepper spray is a phenomenal tool. It's a phenomenal tool for civilians today. Civilians are allowed to carry pepper spray. Pepper spray is a phenomenal tool. There is no chemicals. It's an all-natural blend of oil, compressed air, and hot pepper, capsicum. Normally it lasts 4 years from the manufacturer's date. It is probably one of the nicest tools that law enforcement ever started to use. It reduced officer injuries probably about 60%, because now there's no physical contact at this point. It's step back, move away. No, you keep coming, he's getting sprayed with it. Trust me when I tell you, it causes 45 minutes of the most intense irritation to the eyes, nose, and mouth. I've seen people pee their pants after getting sprayed with it. I've seen people 6'5" turn into little crying 2-year-old babies after getting hit with this stuff. It's a phenomenal tool to have on you. Some of them come with leather pouches, some of them come with keychains, so while your keys are in your hand, so is your pepper spray walking to or from your vehicle. And it's not a bad thing to have. The other thing is firearms. Now, the idea with carrying a firearm doesn't make you Superman. A firearm does you absolutely no good if you can't get to it. A firearm is a false sense of security for most people. Let me just say this. There is no perfect, there's no right way, there's definitely no wrong way of doing things. If you come up with an idea and it sounds good to you, then use it. If you have an idea of how to make it safer for you at an open house or a showing or at any other, time, use it. Do it. Try it. If it doesn't work, okay, but if you try it with somebody that you know, so you don't wait until the last minute to try it with somebody you don't know and have it fail.